Kakadosh, Boker Or, good morning. I wanted to share with you a beautiful idea on Rosh Hashanah. Do you know that on Rosh Hashanah, we have a certain attribute that we're supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Malchuyot. The entire concept of Rosh Hashanah is that we come and we say psukim of Malchuyot. Malchuyot is crowning, saying HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the king. The Gemara Masechet Rosh Hashanah actually says that we have to say these psukim. But it's not only just Malchuyot. It's Malchuyot, Zichronot, Shofarot. So you have the 10 psukim of crowning HaKadosh Baruch Hu, saying that he's the king of the world. 10 psukim of remembrances, of reminding Hashem that we're here and that we should be remembered for the good. And 10 psukim of Shofarot. And then we come and we blow the shofar. Now, in those 10 psukim, we know that we split them up. We do 3 psukim from the Torah, 3 psukim from the Nevi'im, 3 psukim from the Ketubim. We go back to the Torah, so you always have 10 psukim. So we always do it in such a fashion. We do that from Elchiyot, Zichronot, Shofarot, and that's how we do it. Now the question is, how is it possible to crown a Kadosh Baruch Hu only with our mouths, with words? It's like thin air. Kadosh Baruch Hu, you're king. I understand if you do an action. I could say, listen, you know what? Fine. But what are you doing? We're just coming and we're just saying 10 psukim, and then that's it. Now, you don't tell me that these 10 psukim have to, all of them are very important. You know, the Tosfot Yom Tov says, what happens if I forgot Malchuyot? And I want to start with Zichronot? Or then you can't. You need to first crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu. First go to Malchuyot, then the Zichronot, and then Shofarot. You cannot go in another order. It has to be in that order. But what's so important about the power of speech? Like, what's going on with it? Why is it that all of a sudden I say 10 psukim and wow, hocus pocus, Hashem's the king? Did I do anything to show that he's king? I just said it. So there's a Rabbi Lopian. Listen to this incredible yisod. Rabbi Lopian says, we're talking about on the night of Pesach. In the night of Pesach in Haggadah, we say, Kol amar belesaper b'tziat Mitzrayim, harei ze meshubach. Anybody that relates and that retells over the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim, the Exodus of Egypt, is praiseworthy. How do we understand those words? We understand that the more that you're going to come and praise Hashem, and the more that you tell over about how we left Egypt and all the miracles and the midrashim and everything how happened, it's more praiseworthy. Says Rav Lopian, you're reading it wrong. Anybody that comes and says over so much of Yetziat Mitzrayim, not that it's praiseworthy what you're doing. You become praiseworthy. You, the human being, you become praiseworthy. Why? Because you're retelling and you're relating all the stories of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he says, and where's the proofs that the power of speech is so powerful that you become a different person, or that you're able to come and actually crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Kriyat Shema. Kriyat Shema, we say Kriyat Shema in the morning, and we say Kriyat Shema in the nighttime. What is Kriyat Shema called? Kabbalat ol malchut shamayim. We are receiving upon ourselves the yoke of heaven. Now the question is, how are you receiving yourself anything? You're just talking. You're not doing anything. No. But the fact that you come and you say that I'm accepting upon myself the yoke of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the saying is not just thin air. It's a reality. It changes the reality. And the same the other way around, Chas Shalom. What happens if Chas Shalom, a person's going to come and they're going to curse, right? Bless HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right? They come. You're going to say, listen, Ribono Shel Olam, all he did was speech. Sticks and stones will break my words, will never hurt me, this, that. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to care that somebody comes and he starts saying things? And the answer is yes. Because words have a very powerful effect, right, on human beings. And now we understand what happens with what? With vidui. One of the most important aspects of teshuvah, the Rambam says this is teshuvah, is what? Vidui. What is vidui? I sinned. Why do you say I sinned? Because the first concept of doing anything, the wake-up call is what? I sinned. Do you know by shiurei chatanim, when we teach chatanim, right, we always have to teach them the first thing that they have to learn to say is, I'm sorry. Right? I'm wrong and I'm sorry. Right? Why do we teach them? Very simple. Because in marriage, even when you're right, you're always wrong. Right? So you always have to say, I'm sorry. Now, why is it that way? What's so important about the words I'm sorry? The words I'm sorry is actually the beginning of a healing process. There was an expert, right, that he was a psychologist, right, for delinquents and, and juvenile delinquents. that what happened was that you had these children that they would come and they would steal or they would do certain things. And he had to come and he had to actually, in a rehab center in order to get them out of it. So how would he know when they were actually cured? Or how would he measure where are they up to? So he says, usually they would be able to measure it within the first few minutes to see what the person says. The majority of them are going to come and they're going to say, they're not going to tell you that they stole. They're going to say, I took it. A little bit more, maybe I took it without permission. I borrowed it. Or for them to actually even say, I stole it and I'm willing to, and I apologize, it was wrong. That means that they're almost on the way out. That means that they're almost out of the rehab because they're almost there. And what his job was is that wherever level that they were, he would always try to bring them up for another level. You can't go from the bottom. For a person that comes and he says, I didn't steal, to start saying, no, I stole and I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. So first you have to explain to him. And the guy comes and he says, I didn't do anything wrong. So he says, okay, but did you take something? Well, yes, but I took it. But I didn't steal. Okay, but permission take it. No. So and then you have to wind them up until they say, okay, fine. So I took it without permission. So you already I didn't do anything wrong. Now, okay, I took it without permission. So I already went one step up. And then if he starts with you that I took it without permission, so then you have to come say, okay, but what is taking without permission? Is that considered stealing? Is it considered not? And then you have to. So his job was to come and to bring them up a level. But why? Because the beginning of any process is to say that I'm sorry. I wronged you. I did something wrong. And that's why it's so important that even when you ask for forgiveness, even if you know that the person already forgives you, there's still an essence that you go to the person and you say, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Because the fact that you come and you say it with your mouth, it's changing things. And the more that you're going to say it, and that's why Kippur, think about it. Kippur, what is Kippur? Vidui. Yeah, how many times do you do vidui? You do it 10 times. Every silent Amidah, every Amidah, Chazarat Hashatz, just again, 10 times throughout the entire Kippur, you're going to be saying vidui, confession. You confess and you say that you're sorry. Because the first thing that you have to realize is, I'm wrong and I'm sorry. And then you could start building. Because if you don't do that, you won't be able to build. David Melech, immediately when he was told that he did something wrong, immediately he said, Hatati, I sinned. I'm sorry. He was left to be the king of all of Bnei Israel. Shaul Melech, he didn't say I'm sorry. He didn't say I sinned. At the beginning, he started playing, what am I hearing? I fulfilled the words of Hashem. He said, yeah, but I'm hearing something. Those are animals. Yeah, but they belong to the Amalekim. No, but the people, they wanted to bring korbanot, and then they wanted to do this. And by the time he actually said, I'm sorry, it was already too late. Because immediately we have to understand and say, I'm sorry. That is the essence of what it is, Kippur. And now we understand what is the essence of Rosh Hashanah. The fact that we come and we proclaim HaKadosh Baruch Hu is king, the fact that we say it, it becomes a reality. And that's why when all of us come on Rosh Hashanah, we say, HaMelech, HaMelech, everything's HaMelech, HaMelech HaKadosh, HaMelech HaMishpat, HaMelech, everything is Melech, Melech, Melech. Just continue going, HaMelech. Everything, Hashem's the king. All of a sudden, it's a completely different world. It's a world that Hashem is the king because we change it into reality with the power of our mouths. Our mouths is one of the most powerful tools that we have. Do you know that when you learn Chavetz Chaim in Hechal Lashon Hara, the new cycle starts on Rosh Hashanah. And one of the most powerful things that we realize is the power of speech. And I think it was only yesterday, which was Tzom Gedalia, right, which is I think Gimel, that it said, why is Lashon Hara so powerful? He says, because with the same power of speech that we learn Torah and we say Tefillah, those that go up to the heavens. But if with same power, which is a weapon, if with the same weapon we come and we do negative things and we speak Lashon Hara, we speak foul language and we say bad things, so what happens? So then we damage the weapon. The weapon is not able to go. It doesn't have accuracy anymore. So it goes up to Shema and it gets stopped there. And therefore, what we have to do is we have to come and we have to actually fight forth. We have to realize the power of our speech, because only with the true power of speech of using it for good things, for Torah and Tefillah, it goes all the way up to the Shemaim and it penetrates all the heavens. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu's, right, his power of speech, his power of Tefillah was so powerful that it tore through every single gates of heaven. It would slice through. Nothing was able to stop it. Because a person that's always careful with his speech, he will always be blessed to continue, right? That his power of speech is the most important power. We could continue claiming that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is king, and it all depends on the power of our speech. Have a wonderful new year.